What is a woman? For some reason, that is a very difficult question to answer. There are politicians and celebrities all over the world dodging that question like a dodgy kebab at 3 a.m. that's definitely going to give you outrageous diarrhea. It's a popular question, so popular in fact, Matt Walsh, the YouTube dude, he made a documentary on it that recently went absolutely super viral on Twitter. It actually amassed well over 100 million views. I know some of those views might have only been for a few seconds, but it had a lot of interest, and it was a good documentary, I'll give him that.
If one person could tell me what a woman is.
You are not here for women!
A woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
It could be many things to many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
I like scented candles, and I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
How do I know if I'm a woman?
Women only know what women are.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is? You want to tell us what a woman is?
It really does seem right now that we are unable to answer that very obvious question. What is a woman? Because we're too scared of being labelled a transphobe. Well, my good friend Sydney Watson recently went on Dr. Phil and confronted some transgender activists about this very question.
Well, there is a recent movement to completely erase women. Well, at least the word. For example, instead of saying woman, some groups and organizations are now saying birthing bodies, lactating person, womb carrier, chest feeder.
And this is really quite widespread at the moment. You may notice on some documents that you fill in, or anything where you need to put your name and your date of birth, you have an enormous list of things that you can choose from when it comes to pronouns, when it comes to your gender. For some reason, we are erasing gender as we know it. Men and women no longer exist. We are all our own weird little thing. You can be whatever you want to be. Congratulations, you're a fucking pot plant. Awesome. But it does seem the first gender to really cop the brunt of this is women.
I am committed to doing the absolute most to protect Black birthing people.
We believe that every birthing person in this country should have a choice in their providers.
How does one of the most medically advanced nations in the world continue to fail Black birthing people?
Black birthing people. They sound like a blues group on Bourbon Street. Now, you may notice that I play like a maximum of 20 seconds of a clip, and that is because people like to take down content if you're reacting to it. So that is only done to sort of try to navigate away from having this video taken down. So if you get the shits with it, I'm sure you'll be fine. Fuck your own face, etc. Back to the video.
Chest feeding. If you are able to feed your baby from your breasts, you're breastfeeding. You're not chest feeding, because my husband's got a chest and he couldn't breastfeed our child.
The issue I think everyone has with this is we're changing the language to suit a very, very small minority of people. We're changing the entire lexicon just to make like a couple of people happy. We don't do that with anything else. And I'm not convinced that these people are happy even when we do change the words. I really don't think they are. They are activists. That's what these people are. They're not trying to just live their own life and enjoy it. They are activists. They will never be happy.
Well, we're going to have an open conversation today in an honest and supportive environment.
Anyway, so Mr. Phil here has assembled a group of people, from doctors to pretend doctors or activists, pregnant dads and political commentators. What a great group.
Joining me today is Dr. Susie Denbo, professor of communications at Kent State University, specializing in gender. Shandy Moore is another former guest and nationally recognized HIV and trans activist working for Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and speaker, advocate, and non-binary birthing person, Danny Wakefield, known as Danny the Trans Dad. Also joining us virtually is Ruth Barrett, author of Female Erasure.
They almost sound like the Avengers if Thanos was played by Jordan Peterson. So we are going to witness a discussion of the political nature, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, will be just lovely, very kind and nice. That's usually how they go.
I think that it's great that we're looking at these things, because I've been told that I'm not a woman because I can't have a period, I can't have babies, but there's actual women who can't do those things too.
Okay, we hear this argument quite a bit. Just because someone's born male and doesn't have ovaries or the ability to have a period or have babies, does that make them not a woman? Scientifically, yes. Politely, no. And I know I get a lot of hate from people saying you should never call transgender people by what they want to be called. No, it's just being polite. It's being nice. Just be nice, right? If I met this person, I would call them a woman because it's the nice thing to do. But would I change the way I speak when it comes to filling in government forms? Or how I live my day-to-day life? Would that change? No. Would it change scientific facts? No. It would just change how I was around that person right then and there. But gun to my head, I don't know why I keep looking at this, but gun to my head, it's a man. Sorry. And as far as definitions are concerned, no, a woman is not someone who has a period and can have children, because some women cannot have children nor periods, okay? And those women we call legends. Yeah. Anyway.
A lot of women say, look, we fought for the right to vote, practice law, equal pay. Some now feel sidelined due to what they're referring to as the erasure of women. It's like we fought so hard to get all of these...
Good God, this man talks slow. Are women being eroded? Maybe. Maybe very, very slowly. Over time. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I think if they were to be eroded the way some people are freaking out they may be, eroding beneath me, we wouldn't notice it. It would happen so slowly that one day you'd just look back and go, shit, what is a woman? For example, a few years ago, people were always joking about chest feeding, this idea of chest feeding. And now, boom, Australian National University urges staff to say chest feeding instead of breastfeeding, gestational parent instead of mother. Coincidentally, the Australian National University, that's the university that I'm no longer welcome at because I did a show there and people were mad that I was there because I'm such a bigot. So yeah, fuck them. The same goes for the actual breast milk. It's not mother's milk, it's human milk. And that sounds like cum. So that's gross. Don't give that to your baby. And some people feel really attached to these words. Not cum, but like... breastfeeding, right? That's a very, very powerful thing that a woman can do with their body. Feed a fucking human. And all of a sudden you take that away? Does that sound like you're eroding women? Well, it's certainly not doing that, is it? Why are we removing so many things that women feel are feminine and feel that they need in their lives and that they really enjoy? Why do we keep taking those away from women? It's very, very strange. It's almost like the whole female experience is changing, and if you are a feminine woman, you like pink and all that shit, it's almost like that's grounds for being cancelled. You're not allowed to do that anymore. That's fucking shit. So at this point in the Mr. Phil interview, they're talking about gender identity and anatomy issues, all that shit. And then Sydney Watson, the great Sydney Watson, joins the conversation.
Can I just make the point that
you can make a point, girl.
Even non-functioning female anatomy is still female anatomy. So the fact that you can't have a child or you can't get pregnant, that doesn't diminish the fact that you are a woman, because you still have the anatomy to do so.
The fact that people disagree with that blows my mind. The idea that you are whatever you feel is hilarious. Don't get me wrong. If you want me to call you a woman, I'll do it. If you want me to call you a man, I'll do it. If you want me to call you a they, them, you can stick that up your ass, all right? Fuck off. The problem begins, though, when you demand that people call you something that you're obviously not. They have to then lie to you. And then they live in a reality where they're just lying. Just running around lying. Like, come on, mate. Are you that important that you need people to lie to make you feel better? And if you dare question it, you'll get cancelled and face backlash. That's the point we are in right now.
There are two different things, though. Being a female anatomy, having female anatomy, and being a woman are two different things.
They aren't. You're wrong. That's silly.
Well, I could go get the anatomy.
You could go and get the anatomy. And I've seen those surgeries for research purposes, definitely. They're pretty fucking full on. Sure. It might look like a pussy, sound like a pussy, it might even smell like a pussy. Well, no, it doesn't at all. It looks like it's a fucking raccoon that's been run over by a double-decker bus. Like, it's fucked, mate. It's fucked. But as I said, I have watched these transition surgeries, and I thought I would show you one being done now. And it's from a news report, so it's safe to watch on YouTube. Let's have a look together. Behind me, a 40-foot penis. A man's penis, but with the pure skill and modern belief instilled within us through modern medicine. Today we will see this turned into a beautiful, ready-made to order vagina. I asked the doctor for more, information.
Yes, well, you see, this has always been a very fine pussy, like Michelangelo said about the statue already existing inside of the marble. You see, this is a perfect trans vagina inside of this giant penis. We just have to set it free.
And here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I give you the perfect pussy.
Women have had to fight for our rights for thousands of years all over the world and for hundreds of years in this country because we have been discriminated against and excluded from public civil society, from the educational arena, from the legal arena.
Okay, so she bitched on a bit, typical woman, but she is right. Women have dealt with so much shit for so long. And now what? All these dudes are now women and they're trying to relate to the struggles of women. And you're like, mate, you've been here for fucking 13 minutes. Shut the fuck up.
And many of us who support those movements are not about to turn around and pretend that sex is not a meaningful legal and physical category.
So why not have...
Listen to that. That applause right there. That is a very real reaction from very real people. This fringe belief, what I'm saying in this video, it isn't the minority. This is the majority belief held across the world. And I tell you what, it's horrifying because people are so terrified to actually put their views out there that they would rather lie to themselves and lie to the population just because they are scared. That's not a good way to live your life. And it's not good for anyone, trans or not trans. You don't want people to be tiptoeing around you. You just want to get on with your life. There's nothing wrong with being whatever gender you want to be, all right? As long as it doesn't affect anyone else. Stop trying to wipe out gender. Just fucking get on with it.
All women are welcome to join the movement.
Do you mean trans women are welcome to join the movement?
I don't mean men. I mean women.
Better get juicy. This is like Twitter in real life.
So you think trans women are men?
It's not a matter of opinion. We're talking about the material reality of biological sex, which is grounded in science and reality.
And people hate this argument, but she's not wrong. She's not. Scientific fact is on her side. Biology is on her side. Everything is on her side except for the feelings of people over the last 5 years. They're not so much on her side. The idea that men can have babies is a very new belief. It's very ridiculous, obviously. But it is a very new belief. I've had arguments with people though. Someone who I used to be very good friends with, they told me, and this is a well-known person, that the science is changing, Isaac. The science is changing. No, dickhead. No, it's not. The fucking cult has ingrained into these people that this is a reality when it obviously is not. That's what's changed.
Dr. Phil, may I bring it back around to your original question, please, about language? Because you said something that really...
This is Danny, by the way.
Yeah, my name is Danny. I'm a non-binary birther. For those of you who don't know, I gave birth to my child.
A non-binary birther. So Danny is a woman who's taken drugs to appear like a man. And that's fine, but don't fucking sit there and go, I'm Danny, I'm a non-birthing parent, and I've non-birthed all fucking day, and you must suck my little toes. Do it, you bigot dog!
Just because I gave birth doesn't make me a woman or a mother. And there needs to be space in the birthing world that allows me to show up as a birthing person. There's no language. There's no books. There's very few podcasts. When I was pregnant, I had very little support.
Okay, that sucks. But you've created, out of thin air, your own category. What did you think was going to happen?
The people who I don't identify as female, though, like myself, I am not female. What about the people who are born
without... You can't give birth without being female.
Without female reproductive organs.
You're a female person with a gender identity that is male.
This fucking episode goes for 50 minutes. I'm not watching the whole thing. That's just ridiculous. But this woman on the left here, she's an author. She wrote a book on the Erasure chicks. How is her argument here not completely normal? And how is old mate on the right, how is, I'll call him a him, a non-binary him. How is there him, they, I cannot say them, fuck you. How is his argument not batshit crazy? How? That's my question. That's all I've got to ask.
Identity that is male.
I'm a non-binary person with a uterus, is what I am.
Yes,
I'm a non-binary person with a uterus.
You're a non-binary person with a uterus. So you're a woman. That's fine. You happen to be a lady, you're born that way, and you want to be this other way, that's great. But why are you arguing? I don't have an issue with saying that trans men can have babies, because they are women. Biologically speaking, they are women. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to have the trans bit there.
You say in the same breath that you're open to this conversation when technically you're not open to this conversation because you're still speaking from the space of what the reality is.
The reality that old mate's referring to here is that men and women exist. That's what is in quotations. Men and women existing. Reality, that's your reality, is it? Men and women exist, you're crazy. Just remember that little fact in this tirade.
What you're doing, because your mind hasn't opened up to the fact of you being able to really see it.
What you are saying is not only do you want me to have the conversation and be open, you also want me to accept that everything you have to say is true.
No,
and
that's
that is
not true.
fair.
That's not true.
I guess what this all comes down to is you have to buy into our religion, and if you don't buy into our religion and cult and believe everything that we say, you must be stopped. Your speech must be cancelled. End of fucking story.
Really, I could care less because I'm going to live my life the way I'm going to live it anyway, with or without you. You are not open to this conversation because if you were, you would be trying to see things from a different perspective.
Because if you were, you'd be completely forgetting about biology and you forget about penises and vaginas and you just listen to me and believe me. It's my truth. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Just because you and your small circle of fucking Twitter followers agree with each other, do you think there's a slight chance that you're wrong?
Focusing on how the trans people feel and how the non-binary people feel, we get left out of the conversation oftentimes. Susie, you can talk in a second. And it's very frustrating for us because there are unique issues that affect us in a way that you will never understand.
How insane is this entire video? Of course they're different. Of course. It's this 2 + 2 = 5 shit. Even though we know that it's incorrect, we are supposed to believe it. It's fucking bananas. It's cognitive dissonance. It's ridiculous.
You know what's very upsetting for us is to be told that our very existence is superseded by the feelings of others. That is how we feel, and it's very, very frustrating.
I imagine it would be frustrating. Imagine being a female swimmer and you have Leah Thomas turn up and smash you in the pool. But you're told that you have to be happy for her because it's the right thing to do. Follow the science or something. That would be frustrating.
It's impossible to cover a topic this important in just 1 hour. We left our audience with a lot to think about. Final thoughts next.
Has Mr. Phil been blazing here, or does he just not give a fuck about this topic at all? He does not give a shit. He just wants to go home to his mansion and blow some coke in his missus's ass and fucking flog the guts out of it. Allegedly, of course. I just feel sorry for him because he has to deal with these insane humans every day, but he does make a lot of money, so good on him.
Let me tell you something. I'm not a member of the transgender population.
Bullshit. I don't believe him for a fucking second. I've cracked the code here. Dr. Phil is in fact trans. You want to know how I know? Here's my evidence. You can't argue with facts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please stick around, subscribe. Plenty of other videos. There's 3 a week, in fact. And if you didn't enjoy it, please kindly find the most prickly little cactus, a little one like this, and put it in your ass. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Bit extinct. Toodaloo, bye bye.